Alright, you guys, welcome back to another video here, not there, but here on Mental Health Topics with Matt. I know it's been a very long time since I posted a video on here, but that is now changing. Why, you might ask? Because I have simply never forgotten about this channel, the amazing 43 subscribers, and I'm over 1,000 total views on the channel. And therefore, in the midst of trying to keep up with my other channel, Controversial Opinions Discussed, which I'll link down in the description below, I wanted to keep my channels kind of separate. Sure, some of the topics can intertwine, and certainly in the world of mental health, they will, because look at the society we live in these days. So many of these things will kind of go back and forth and kind of be related sometimes. But I wanted to get a new video out that kind of is on the heels of my last video on that channel, which I definitely recommend you check out. I'll link it down below. And the topic of that video was all about this crazy identity crisis that's going on in the world we live in today. And I had a video I was reacting to from that of a transracial person. But this applies to the trans thing in general, and this applies to just this general sense of people, especially kids and teenagers, young adults, who endlessly feel like they have to be part of some kind of group, some kind of community, a rainbow mafia, and the individuality of people is now so far gone that we might never see it again. It seems like everything is rooted in personal identity and labels. So many damn labels. You don't need me to even come up with like one, let alone like 5, 10, or 7,000. I could be here all week. But the point of that was, again, the point I want to make for this video on this channel, because it is mental health related, of course, and you don't have to be a super genius to figure that out. You just need to observe people around you, and all you will see online, all you will find online and out there in the real world somewhere, in the metaverse somewhere, you will find endless groups of people who always talk about groups they belong to. And it's always that endless driving factor of, I need to belong to a group. I have no individuality for myself. I have no ability to reason, come up with logical arguments or points about anything, and believe whatever the group believes, and that will solve all the problems of the world. And I simply disagree. And I think that this identity crisis is so mental health driven, it's terrifying. And of course, a lot of it, a huge part of it, has to do with the trans side of things. Because they took a simple acronym, right? LGBT. They took a simple acronym. And in the last 10 years, since I graduated high school 9 years ago, this June will be 9 years. I was a class of 2014, right? We barely had just gotten the right to marry as gay people, right? I think that actually started in 2015. I could be wrong. Either way, right around the time I was graduating, that was just becoming a law. And it was amazing. And that's what we, the gay community, that's what we were always fighting for, of course, was the right to marry who we want, and of course the right to have anti-discrimination laws. So we had that. And we've had that for almost a decade, which is amazing. It's great. And then the acronym started growing. And it's to the point now where I couldn't even tell you what the hell the full acronym is without looking it up. Because 99% of those terms mean nothing to 99% of the world and the population at large. Which should tell you something. The fact that you can just keep coming up with more and more letters to tack on to what used to be a simple and concise and concrete acronym that people could understand. People understood what a lesbian was. People understood what bisexual was. People even seemed to understand what gay was. And then the trans thing got put on. And no longer was it the gay community, which I will fully disclose. Never liked that term. Never related to that term. Never related to that group. Never felt like I needed to relate to, or fit in with, or belong to that group, or any other group for that matter, relating to any of those sorts of issues. I simply do not understand the logistics of why I, as a boring gay guy, a guy who likes other guys, why do I need to be part of a group? A community. What do I get out of being in a gay community? I'm surrounded by other guys who like other guys, and that helps me in what way? I have to agree with politics. I have to believe in ideas and whatever is pushed by the group just because I'm supposed to be part of the group? Is it that just because I am a gay man, does that automatically make me in the group? Does my absence from the group hurt the group? Right? If I say I'm not really part of the group, I'm just a guy who likes guys, but I don't need to be part of the group, the community. Does that make me homophobic? Does that make me group community phobic? Does that go against community guidelines? Who the hell knows the answer to any of those questions? I simply have never seen the point. I have never once said in my life, in the last 8.5 some years of being out, I've never said, oh yeah, I'm part of the gay community. I've never felt the need to be part of a gay community. And the people of today have tried to change all of that. And they tried to make everything have to be about needing to belong to groups of other people that allegedly, at least in some small way, however immeasurable it might be, are supposed to be like you. They're supposed to feel like you, and you're supposed to relate to them and identify with them. I love them. And that is where that damn word identity comes from, that I hate so much. I just don't see the point in needing to identify with something. It is a sign of something much bigger. If you have no individuality for yourself, if you endlessly find yourself needing the admiration and the validation and the social affirmation of just who you are, what you like, what you think, how you respond to things, how you perceive the world around you, and most importantly, of course, how you perceive yourself. If your self-perception is so shallow, is so unexistent, and doesn't exist, if your whole sense of self is fueled by the thoughts and opinions and groupthink of other people, if you need validation for every damn thing you do, for every way that you live or don't live your life, you're screwed. There's a sign of something much bigger going on than just, everybody needs validation from time to time. Everyone second guesses decisions that they make, relationships that they have, friendships that they maintain, conversations that go way differently than you thought they would. Everybody needs questioning and people to bounce things back and forth from time to time, that think in a similar way to you. Doesn't mean you have to adopt everything they say as being the truth. You have to be free to make your own opinions, to have your own ideas about things. When you start taking people's ideas for you, for their perception of you and saying, well, if that's how somebody sees me, then that's how I must be. That is faulty logic. And that's not healthy logic. No therapist is going to tell you that you should look for endless validation and endless support from other people at all times to validate how you feel. Because then those are not your feelings. Those are their feelings, the group's feelings that are being projected onto you. And projection is a big problem in the mental health world. Bottom line is this endless idea of needing to fit into communities, groups of people who are supposed to be like you, feel like you, think like you, and have similar experiences to you. It's not to say you can't have a group of people who have similar experiences to you, who have similar interests and hobbies to you, and are relatable to you. Relativity is a great thing. Too much relativity means you lose sight of people who don't relate to you, to people who don't share your opinions and your thoughts on things, and who do not see you or the world around you the way that you do. And it is equally important to surround yourself with people who don't see things the same way as you and have a different experience and a different set of beliefs and thoughts to yours. It is equally important to find those kinds of people as opposed to the ones that you relate to oh so well. And that's where that really comes down to. And in the world of mental health, I think that it's an ongoing crisis of just people that are just so wrapped up in their own world, in their own perception of identity and genders and sexualities and a million labels and terms that didn't exist 5 years ago or 10 years ago when I was in school. And now they're everywhere. And if your self-perception tells you are one thing and the rest of the world around you is telling you are not that thing, you can't possibly be that thing, or there's more important things to life than being that label or identifying that way. There's more things going on in life than just that. You should probably listen to that, because that's a very useful thing to realize about yourself. But this identity crisis has been going on for a while, and unfortunately it doesn't seem like it's slowing down, and it certainly shows no signs of stopping. All I can say is if you are a person who really looks at a sense of self-identity, and you relate so heavily to that, you relate to your small group of people who think and act and sound and look and seem to be exactly the same as you, like you're looking into a mirror, you should try to disassociate yourself with some of that. You should have confidence in yourself to make your own thoughts, to make your own impressions, your own opinions, and to be yourself for the sake of being yourself and not being like everyone else who happens to agree with you or feel the same as you. Too much relatability and too much similarity is not good in a relationship. And for society at large and how you interact with the world is not good. Too much of anything is no good. Too much narcissism, too much self-aberration, and needing endless validation to affirm what someone else told you that they think you are, or how someone else sees you, or how you see yourself or other people. You need to have your own opinions. And you need to be able to have your own sense of self. No matter what that means to you individually, it's very important. And like I said, you should surround yourself with other people who agree with that notion that they like you for who you are. Not for necessarily how you see yourself or how anyone else sees you as an individual, but they should like you for who you really are, as a genuine person. Not as a fictitious mirrored front or as an endless sack of labels and identities and personas and bizarre get-ups and bizarre pronouns. You should be your own individual self and That's really all it comes down to. The identity crisis needs to slow down because we have too many labels. We have too many crazy names for things that weren't a thing 5 minutes ago. And it just needs to stop for a while. I think that would be helpful. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. Like, comment, and subscribe to this channel if you're still here watching. I know it's been a long time. I've been meaning to get a video up for a while. I did film one before. I ended up scrapping it. I want to do this instead. And that's about it. So, hopefully you enjoy. Like and subscribe. Check out my other channel down below. And for more videos there, where I discuss all sorts of fun, social, controversial things, and share my, hopefully, more popular opinion. Although that's not always seems to be the case by today's standards in society. But nevertheless, I will try to cover things as I see them there. And I will definitely see you in the next video on this channel.